Morning Nigeria, it's Thursday, 25th of September 2025, and you are tuned in to Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television. I am Samson Balogun.
And I'm Manolo Apoido. We've got a packed lineup of engaging, insightful and refreshing conversations to power your day. Together we'll walk you through the news, the gist, the headlines and the stories that matter most.
Alright, I will begin with Daybreak Gist, and today we are spotlighting the political undercurrent in Rivers State. We are not bothered. PDP reacts on Fubara's possible defection to the APC. We'll break down the reactions, the implications, and what it could mean for river politics.
Right after that, it's your weather report, helping you plan your day with the latest updates across the country, Nigeria.
Alright, then it's Daybreak News, bringing you the top national and global headlines as they break.
Next up is newspaper headlines and analysis, where we unpack the major stories on today's front pages with depth and perspective. Joining us as analyst this morning is Lekon Shobowale, a seasoned public affairs analyst who helps us make sense of the issues making the rounds.
All right, and our big story today focuses on the economy through the lens of hospitality. Hospitality as a driver of economic growth, the role of women in shaping the future. Our guest is the president of the Women in Hospitality Nigeria, who will share valuable insights on the impact of women in driving innovation and growth in this sector.
And to wrap things up today, Trend Watch would be your guide to the biggest updates and buzz on social media.
All right, and remember, you can be a part of the conversation through all social media platforms. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can watch us live on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to that channel, click on the notification button, and most definitely you'll get us live. Your thoughts matter on this dial.
So settle in and stay tuned, because Daybreak Live starts right now.
Right now.
And speaking of that, good morning to you.
Morning to
we
you,
are not bothered, really.
Not bothered.
That's how to start the conversation.
they call it unbothered. So we are unbothered.
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 That's the point.
And that's coming from River State this morning.
Absolutely.
As the PDP in River State say, they are saying they are not bothered. If Fubara likes it defects to the APC, if he likes staying in the PDP, they really do not care.
Well, I think one of the reasons they brought that to be was that there's an allegation that part of the peace agreement that was struck between Fubara and the reconciliation committee was that he was going to defect to the APC. And also, when he went to the president's lodge just recently, Fubara was seen with, I think Governors Forum chairman also, Opuzo Dima. Of course, they were together at the place to visit the president. So there were allegations, and then they had maybe some reasons to say, okay, there's a chance this guy might move to the other place. But again, looking at the way the things are unfolding, is this a good move, even if he gets to move for Fubara? Knowing that, of course, there are a lot of big wigs. I think one of the things we should probably consider in the APC now is that a lot of defection is happening to the APC. But what becomes the case of APC when we have too many people, hungry for the same power? So it becomes
within the same political party.
Within the same party now. So how do they manage all of those things? Someone wants to become someone higher, another person wants to become the same position. So everybody's vying for the same position. Right. We have a crop of people who have the same interest for the same political office and in the same party. So I think it might be a dilemma for them eventually, but if they manage it well. But just away from that now, to say River State, what's the hope of River State, like we also mentioned? What would be the outcome of all of these whole situation if Fubara moves to the APC? Or what is the hope of the PDP as a party? We've seen a lot of defections in recent time.
Right.
Of course, we've seen people move from the PDP to the APC, another party to the APC. So it seems like, you know, we're having that APC how do we call it now? They're
gathering momentum.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've seen that. But what is the case of the PDP? What happens to PDP come 2027 election?
I think that will be a decision to be made in-house. They will be having their Congress in Ibadan,
yes,
hosted by the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Abiodun Seyi Makinde. And one of the most important things to be discussed is how to, without prejudice, you know, zone and give positions to people who duly deserve it, and of course to states that deserve them, and not play the game of politics they used to play, where if the secretary of the party is to go to the North Central, it is being zoned to the Northeast, and then there will be a crisis in the party. That's exactly why they lost the last election, because Wike advocated for some things. The secretary of the party must come from the South, and then it was zoned to the North, and then it became a problem. So from there, it became a back and forth, and some of them sat on the fence during the election, which actually affected the political party. Now, in the case of River State, I think people, the PDP should just cut Seminar Fubara some slack, because it's really under pressure. Why I said that is it was saved by the presidency. I've always said this, that it was almost impeached.
Yes.
And then the presidency came and swept in, you know, suspended him, suspended the House of Assembly until things were resolved before they all came back. So they all had roles to play now. They have roles to play. The House of Assembly are under strict instructions that until the person does this, you just have to do your job and keep it calm right there. And Fubara also has a responsibility. And I think now, I once discussed this on the Polyscope that, you know, is it going to be a toothless bulldog, or is it going to be a substantive governor when he comes back? That is a question we'll ask again after 1 year that he has returned to office. But then, for now, we keep our fingers crossed. But for the political party PDP, I think they should relax. They should relax. Sometimes, you know, you don't just make claims based on allegations, based on rumors that you had, and based on unfounded side talks. So let them just give him breathing space. He has seen too much to go through this stress at this time. Let him just rebuild what he left, and then start from there. So after 1 year or 2 years, and there are rumors again. But one thing I know is that without smoke, there's no fire. Absolutely. So they must have had something, and until that actually becomes something they really need to worry about, I think they should just leave him alone. That's
I think that makes a lot of sense, or sheds more light to this particular issue. Because if you consider, for someone who had just gone through a month of suspension, and is coming back to
6
power
months,
now, 6 months, that's a lot of time, you know, and it's coming back to power, and the next thing is meeting is that, of course, there's division in the party. We know
they probably think he's obnobbing with, you know, the presidency, Opus Odima, who is the chairman of the Governors Forum, a member of the APC. They think he's probably trying to see how he can lobby his way into the APC. But I don't think that is the case right now. They saved him. And, you know, there are still things to undo. They have just handed over to him. And most definitely, there are a lot of things to say, things to do. And people who have been there before, he's new to this. And some of them are actually in their second term as governors. So they are way more experienced than similarly Fubara. That's probably why he's obnobbing with them, to see exactly what he can do this time that will not do wrong.
Just to back what you said the other time, I was trying to say that if he's coming at this point after suspension, I'm not sure the next thing you want to present on his table is that there's a chance you are going. We saw pictures, we saw videos. And
that's too early.
I'm not sure it's needed for Fubara. So, I mean, like you said, cut him some slack, give him some breathing space, let him decide, let him cool his head. He has a lot of things to do. There's a lot of, so there's that conversation of Ibas to be probed also at the Senate level. They said they should bring every of the things, how he managed the state's resources, and they should put that on the table to say, okay, what did you do right, what did you not do right, and all of that. That's also something to say. We might not have seen maybe some of the projects Fubara started when he was in office before the suspension, he might need to get back to them. So that might take a lot of time for him to even settle in
down
and become someone who is going to do what he wants to do. And all of these conversations coming at the time that I feel like it's not the best for Fubara, but for the political interests of every other person, everybody must find a way to talk. But again, if they have, maybe they already have another person they want to put in that particular position and they are willing to say, okay,
let him go.
If you are lobbying with these people, so
just go. There's someone else who can replace you.
We have another person.
And one thing I also want to say to the Rivers PDP right now is that there is a distinct difference between politics and governance. At this time, I think what Fubara needs is to focus on governance and not politics. If you distract him with politics, it might be a problem. And, oftentimes we mistake these two, and politicians don't actually know the difference. So immediately you win an election, your attention shifts from politicking to practicing actual governance. And that is giving the people of your state, of your constituency, of your local government, the dividends of democracy. And they do not know the difference between policy statements and then ideas. You could have ideas when you are vying to go into an office or going into an election. Oh, I have an idea of giving the Badon people running water 24/7. That's just an idea. It is until it passes through the State House of Assembly, becomes a policy, that's when you have a vision. But, it has been muddled up somehow, and that's because we have too much political jobbers at the corridors of power, and that should be strengthened going forward. The Rivers PDP should calm down a little bit, just like the little boy said, Mommy, calm down. So calm down at this time. Let Fubara focus on governance. Let him do what the people of Rivers, you saw how much they love him. Immediately he came back, you saw so many people at the government house waiting for his arrival. And even after that, people kept trooping to that place to see where is Fubara, is he back, things like that. So it shows that he has the love of the people, and they should just leave him alone so that it doesn't outlive his usefulness at this time. Let him practice governance.
Again, as a parting shot, just to add to that you've said, is to consider that we've wasted a lot of time. Why not let's renew the rest of the time, and especially for the people of Rivers? Even if you want to do politicizing, like you said, like if you want to do politics, why not just focus on governance? Let's make the people, at least let them enjoy what they voted
PDP should
for.
not practice what we call the opposition political arrangement in their own state. They have Rivers State as of now. Fubara is still a member of the PDP, so they should not act like they are the opposition in Rivers.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to also end the conversation right there. And we move on to the next segment of this show, where we take the weather reports, of course, coming live from across the regions of the country, Nigeria. Join us again.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
A command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB Van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB Van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that short break, and thank you for staying tuned. The show is still Daybreak live right here on Dominion Television. Now it's time to take weather report, and we start from the ancient metropolitan city of hospitality this morning, and that's Ibadan. As weather currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius right now in Ibadan, southwest, and later in the morning it will be cloudy, mostly cloudy, and it will rise to 26 degrees Celsius. There will be showers in the afternoon at 29 degrees Celsius, 50% chance, and it will be mostly cloudy in the evening at 24 degrees Celsius and cloudy overnight at 23 degrees Celsius in Ibadan today. So if you're in Ibadan, keep your umbrella handy. It might rain in the afternoon.
Of course, from Ibadan out to Ogun State, Abeokuta South is where we are now. And talking about the weather this morning, 23 degrees Celsius is what the weather feels like. Of course, it's going to be mostly cloudy in almost every part of Abeokuta South this morning. 27 degrees Celsius in the morning, 29 degrees Celsius in the afternoon, evening 25 degrees Celsius, and overnight 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy across Abeokuta South, Ogun State today.
All right, same for Lagos State, the Center of Excellence this morning. Weather currently feels like 24 degrees Celsius. It will be mostly cloudy in the afternoon and morning and afternoon at 26 degrees Celsius and 28 degrees Celsius respectively. And it will be partly cloudy in the evening at 26 degrees Celsius and also mostly cloudy in overnight at 25 degrees Celsius.
Of course, weather feels like 22 degrees Celsius in Oshogbo, Osun State this morning. Of course, 26 degrees Celsius, cloudy in the morning. Later in the afternoon, 29 degrees Celsius with thunderstorms expected. Evening has 24 degrees Celsius with showers. So if you are in Oshogbo, Osun State, get your umbrella or stay indoors, whichever way. And overnight, 23 degrees Celsius with a cloudy form of weather in Oshogbo, Osun State.
All right, moving straight to the state of Harmony, Ilorin. This morning, the Kwara State capital, as weather currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius. Later in the morning, it will rise 26 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy. There will be scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon at 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy in the evening at 25 degrees Celsius, and overnight, mostly cloudy at 23 degrees Celsius in Ilorin today.
It's going to be a bit cloudy across Ekiti South. Of course, the southwest Ekiti State this morning. Weather feels like 22 degrees Celsius. Of course, in the morning, 25 degrees Celsius, cloudy as well. Afternoon, 28 degrees Celsius with scattered thunderstorms also expected. Evening, 23 degrees Celsius with few showers. And overnight is 22 degrees Celsius, also cloudy in Ekiti Southwest Ekiti State this morning.
All right, moving to the south this morning, weather from Port Harcourt, River State capital. Weather currently feels like 20 degrees Celsius, and it will be mostly cloudy later in the morning at 23 degrees Celsius. There will be showers in the afternoon at 26 degrees Celsius, and later in the evening it will be partly cloudy at 21 degrees Celsius, and mostly cloudy overnight at 21 degrees Celsius. So if you are in Port Harcourt today, keep your umbrella handy, especially in the afternoon.
And from there now to Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, weather feels like 22 degrees Celsius today. And in the morning, 25 degrees Celsius, cloudy. In the afternoon, 26 degrees Celsius, also mostly cloudy. Evening comes with 23 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy as well. And there's showers expected overnight at 22 degrees Celsius in the Federal Capital Territory this morning, Abuja.
All right, I'm moving to the far north, and that's Kano Municipal in Kano State this morning. Weather currently feels like 22 degrees Celsius and mostly cloudy later in the morning at 28 degrees Celsius. There will be scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon at 30 degrees Celsius, and it will be mostly cloudy at 24 degrees Celsius in the evening. And overnight, there will be showers in Kano at 23 degrees Celsius.
And to the biggest states in Nigeria, that's Niger State, Suleja this morning. Weather feels like 22 degrees Celsius and of course 25 degrees Celsius in the morning, cloudy. Afternoon comes 27 degrees Celsius. Scattered thunderstorms is also expected. And evening is mostly cloudy with 23 degrees Celsius. Overnight there's showers and the promise of showers, of course, 22 degrees Celsius also in Suleja, Niger State.
All right, I'm moving down to Kaduna State. This morning, weather currently feels like 22 degrees Celsius, similar to Kano. And it will be mostly cloudy later in the morning at 25 degrees Celsius. There will be thunderstorms in the afternoon at 28 degrees Celsius. And there will be showers in the evening and overnight at 22 and 21 degrees Celsius, respectively. That will be all on Weather Report this morning. We now go on a short break. When we return, we'll take the news. We'll be back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok @Dominion Broadcast and on X @DominionCasts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Hello and welcome. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. My name is Anuluakpo Idowu. An advanced team from the presidency has landed at the newly upgraded Samuel Ladoke Akintola Airport ahead of the coronation of Oba Rashidi Ladoja as the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land on Friday. This indicates that President Bola Tinubu is expected to be present at the coronation ceremony. The flight, which preceded the president's expected arrival, marked the airport's first operation since its closure in March for an upgrade to international standards. The successful landing highlighted the airport's readiness to handle high-profile flights, setting the positive precedent for future arrivals and departures. Similarly, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC, Oyo State Command, has deployed 500 personnel to ensure robust security and safety during the coronation of His Imperial Majesty Oba Senator Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja as the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land, scheduled for Friday, September 26, 2025 at Makbo Hall, Ibadan, with a grand reception at the Obafemi Awolowo Stadium. The deployment will cover all activities and events associated with the week-long coronation ceremonies. The deployment, directed by the Commandant General of NSCDC, Professor Hamid Abubakar Audi, aims to maintain law and order, protect lives and property, and ensure a peaceful celebration throughout the week-long coronation activities. The State Commandant Augustine Padonu, also stated that the command is working in synergy with other security agencies to ensure a hitch-free ceremony that reflects the cultural grandeur of Ibadan land. Moving on, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has called for stronger collaboration with the media to promote voluntary tax compliance among Nigerians, stressing that taxation is essential for national development. Speaking at a one-day sensitization in Kaduna, the FIRS Executive Chairman, Zach Adedeji, represented by his technical advisor on broadcast media, Arabinrin Aderunke, noted that the media remained a critical partner in educating citizens and shaping public perception about taxes. The FIRS urged journalists to see themselves not only as reporters, but as educators, influencers, and watchdogs who can inspire citizens to embrace their civic responsibility of paying taxes. The Ogun State government has called on mothers in the state to check their children's tuberculosis TB status to prevent the disease from worsening. At the flag-off ceremony for the 2025 Childhood TB HIV Screening Awareness Week in Abeokuta, Dr. Kayode Oladeinde, the Permanent Secretary of the Ogun State Ministry of Health, spoke on behalf of the State Commissioner for Health, Tomi Kokar, encouraging mothers to be vigilant in monitoring their children's health and to visit the nearest health facility for free screening and treatment, particularly for children.
We know that childhood TB is contributing about 10 to 15% of cases in Nigeria right now. So we are bothered as a state and we want to make our people know what childhood TB is. We want them to know that it's preventable.
Children are so specific, so special in the sense that when they have tuberculosis, because they cannot talk, they cannot express how they feel. It may be difficult for us to make the diagnosis, especially from the mothers to even appreciate the fact that this child has to come to the hospital where the diagnosis has to be made. We will know that tuberculosis is a bacterial infection that can cause death in adults or in children.
The mother needs to see the children as they are nurturing them to see, are they thriving well, are they not thriving well, and this will tell them that they need to visit the facility to let them establish maybe the child that is not thriving well is having.
Healthcare professionals have noted that childhood tuberculosis in Nigeria has increased from 10% to over 50%, highlighting the importance of raising awareness among parents about the need to be vigilant in identifying tuberculosis in children. In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has raised concerns that abuse of the naira is driving up the cost of printing and replacing banknotes. The warning came at the flag-off of a nationwide sensitization campaign on proper naira handling held in Abuja. The Deputy Governor Operations Directorate, Dr. Balabelo, was represented by Dr. Adedeji Adetono, Director of Currency Operations and Branch Management Department, who delivered the speech on his behalf. The Deputy Governor stressed that the CBN cannot achieve this goal alone and called for the collaboration of banks, transport unions, traders, schools, civil society, religious organizations, and the media. He warned that if corrective measures are not taken, Nigerians will continue to bear the consequences. And in sport, Fisayo Dele Bashiru will be sidelined for around 1 month due to a muscle injury. The Nigerian international clubbed the injury in Lazio's 1-0 loss to Roma last weekend. Dele Bashiru is now a major doubt for Nigeria's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Crocodiles of Lesotho and Squirrels of Benin Republic next month. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast and X at Dominion Cast. And that's Daybreak News. I am Anuluakbo Idowu. Thank you for watching. Daybreak Live continues shortly.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.
Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
What are the papers saying this morning? If you check across the newsprint, there are so many stories boldly written on the front pages of several newspapers, several dailies across the nation, Nigeria today. The big story also on the front of the papers today, this morning is federal government goes after certificate forgers. Are you one of them? Maybe we'll get to know all of that in the course of this particular edition. Welcome to Newspaper Headlines and Analysis on Dominion Television. Thank you for staying tuned this morning. We have so many stories to go around, breaking, developing, and trending across the social media and of course the front pages. But we deal with the front pages stories this morning. Getting into the Daily Trust newspaper, so many stories, but the big one, the big caption this morning reads, federal government goes after certificate forgers. Who are the forgers? Who are the certificate forgers? Well, we will get to know in the course of the analysis, but federal government goes after certificate forgers. That is on the big caption and the writer for Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Another story is policeman killed as a gunman abducts guards in Kwara State. Unfortunate, right there on the top corner of the Daily Trust newspaper. Flood destroys houses, farms in Kogi, disrupts activities in Lagos. Flood, of course, the federal government has previously warned that there is a chance for that. Of course, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency also gave a warning before now. But another story that is also topical this morning is reform or risk irrelevance. Tinubu warns at the United Nations General Assembly. Reform or risk irrelevance. Tinubu warns at UNG. Does it sound like a threat? Maybe, maybe not. Away from the Daily Trust newspaper, Tinubu to United Nations World. Of course, world leaders reform or risk irrelevance, says the man for United Nations Permanent Secretary and Security Council seat is timely and blasts United Nations over inaction in Middle East conflict. Also, a story you might want to check out this morning. Points Nigeria's mineral wealth reforms as a blueprint for Africa. Is that so? We'll get to know this morning, and I'm not doing this alone. Someone who's going to help us unpack some of these stories that are breaking on the front pages is right here with me, Lekon Shubowale, public affairs analyst this morning. Beautiful morning to you. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well this morning. It seems like you look like one of the delegates at the United Nations General Assembly.
I just came by the vice president.
Oh, that's very lovely. Okay, so let's get into it. We'll start with that story. It sounds like a threat. Risk. It was saying reform or risk irrelevance, and that's the president of this country speaking at the United Nations General Assembly. Does it sound like a threat, or is it the way to go for the leadership in the country in the African state? Let's put it that way, because he's representing, of course, the ECOWAS chairman, representing a crop of African countries. So the president is saying reform or risk irrelevance.
Yes, I think the President Tinubu is a former ECOWAS president. So ECOWAS chairman, he understands what he was saying at that event. The president pointed out one or two things. He talked about the issue of permanent seats at the United Nations Security Council. That as of today, Nigeria is the third most populous country in the world. And he was telling them that it is either you embark on reform, or you risk losing relevance. So many years ago, Nigeria happens to be a country with just 20 million people, but now we are 236 million now. So what the president was telling them is that the United Nations must continue to move with the trends. The United Nations must continue to update itself. You understand that you don't look at Nigeria as a country with 20 million people. Now we are 213. So, as the third most populous country in the world, we are qualified to also have a seat, a permanent seat in the United Nations. And it talks about the issue of debts. You know that you don't forgive us our debts, not as no longer as charity. You see it as a responsibility. You understand that if you want to help developing nations, you have to do that. You don't do that based on charity. You have to do that with a sense of responsibility. That is, it's telling United Nations, to also flow along with realities that we are having in some of the nations now. You understand that you have to, you live up to the responsibility as a welfareist organization. So that is what President Tinubu was telling them through his vice president yesterday. So, it is not a threat. It is just a statement of facts. And he made mention of so many things. Talking about Africa. Africa should also be included. Africa should be allowed to also manage its mineral resources. You understand? So, that we are no longer a colony nations. You understand? Now we are governing ourselves and we are developing. And for us to develop, to our potential, free to our potentials, Africa must be free. Africa must be independent. And, you must see Africa as a continent, not as a continent, a continent that it can be regarded as a charitable continent. Of course we are developing, but even while we are developing, it cited Nigeria as an example that we have dynamic and vibrant youth, which that any nations of the world can take advantage of, in business wise and in economic wise. So, it is not a threat. It is just a statement of fact. Trying to tell the United Nations to jettison its old ways of doing things and to come back to the realities of what we are having.
What we have now. Okay, I get the points. I get the points now. But let's take it a step further to say that the sound of the headline sounds like a threat, like warns the United Nations, but that's not even the case now. The case we want to also unfold is the part where it says that we must have representation at the United Nations Security Council. Now, if you permanent seats, yes. If you want to say that, should it come from a country that's also regarded as a terrorized nation? Because we have to also speak for the world leaders. If they say you want to claim access to the Security Council of the United Nations, how well is the security infrastructure in your country? How well is the security situation in Nigeria before we can give you this? So, looking from that angle as well, is it likable for Nigeria to have a permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council, or it's too early to say that?
So let me tell you, one of the best ways to eradicate terrorism in Africa is by giving Nigeria. Everybody knows, everybody regarded Nigeria as the powerhouse of African continent, aside from the likes of possibly maybe Kenya, South Africa. You understand? So the best way, if United Nations is serious about eradicating or reducing terrorism across African continent, the best way to go about that is to give a nation like Nigeria a permanent seat in the Security Council. Nigeria is not a terrorist nation. A terrorist nation is where they proclaim, and they are in all their ways and in all their attitudes that if they are supporting terrorism. Nigeria government, is all out, against terrorism. So many times we have proclaimed our stand against terrorism. So if you want to eradicate or reduce terrorism in Africa, you have to consider giving Nigeria, a nation in Africa like Nigeria, a permanent. Because see, in our fight against terrorism, there are always bottlenecks. Bottlenecks in the sense that how do we get sophisticated ammunitions to confront these terrorist organizations? You you have to pass through a lot of bureaucratic processes. You know, if you want to fight terrorism in Nigeria, in Africa, Africa must also be part of where they take decisions, of where they make decisions. You know, the Security Council table. That's okay. You know, these people, they can never understand, you know, our you know, they can never understand our environment the way we do. So if you are giving us a permanent seat on the Security Council of the United Nations, you know, you have removed bottlenecks, you have removed bureaucratic processes. You understand? And you even empower Nigeria. You empower us more because Nigeria, we have direct access to where some of these ammunitions, you know, to where some of these weapons are being made, are being produced. You understand? And we now have that confidence, you know. See, Nigeria can apply for ammunitions from United States of America, from Russia, for like 2-3 years, and we are not getting it.
All right, sorry. Let me just, I beg to, no, I don't want to differ, but this is what I want to say.
Okay.
Speaking for the United Nations Council now, in every case, in every system, every joint, every body, every armlet should provide something. You've spoken to what Nigeria would gain from this, yes, which is a good way to see it as a Nigerian. But looking at it also from the system, because system is an interconnected bodies of, you know, a whole thing coming together, everybody playing a part. So what is the part that is expected of Nigeria? Because if you say Nigerians or Nigeria as a country will get more ammunition, will get more, you know, break the bottlenecks and all of that, it's good for the Nigerian state. But what about the United Nations? What do they stand to gain?
See, the main essence of United Nations is to ensure that there is peace across the world. And, you know, Africa is also part of the United Nations. And in most parts of Africa, not only Nigeria, you know, one problem confronting Africa is this issue of banditry and terrorism. From Nigeria to Chad to Mali to Benin Republic to Togo we have terrorism across some of the nations in African countries. So if United Nations is saying that the main essence, the clear objective of the United Nations is peace and peace, global peace. How do you want to achieve global peace? You cannot achieve global peace when thousands of people are being killed every day. You cannot achieve global, and when you are not achieving global peace, that means United Nations is no longer achieving its objective. So by the time you reduce terrorism in African countries, you are achieving your main objective. So the main objective of the United Nations is to ensure that there is peace in the world, not only in US, not only in Russia, not only in Ukraine, even in Africa.
But what is Nigeria bringing to the table?
See, Nigeria will be bringing a lot of things to the table.
Okay.
Number one, you know, just like Nigeria will be having bottlenecks and bureaucratic processes in assessing some of these sophisticated ammunition and weapons, even the developed nations of the world, you know, the members of the United Nations, you understand that, okay, some of them want to come to Nigeria to invest business. You understand? Like a few weeks ago, you know, the United States of America was warning their citizens that they should not go to this location in Nigeria, they should not go to this location in Nigeria. That should not be so. So when you are reducing terrorism, you know, in Nigeria, when you are reducing the influence of terrorism in Nigeria, then your citizens will also be safe. You understand? Then, you know, the United Nations will be able to also have access. See, when you have access to Nigeria, you know, when you have access to our environment, you know, as a member of the Security Council, you'll be able to confront some of these terrorism organizations. You can come into Nigeria and see, when you are in Nigeria share borders with some other neighboring African countries. We talk about Cameroon and the rest. You understand? When these United Nations troops, they are coming in, see Nigeria, by the time you're having Nigeria as a member of Permanent Security Council, there's going to be a kind of there is what I don't know, maybe makeshift, I don't know what they call, but United Nations Security Council, we also have his location, his place in Nigeria, where is also be operating, tackling and confronting some of these terrorist organizations, beyond Nigeria. You understand? So I think the most important thing, that Nigeria will be bringing to the table is that Nigeria will be assisting the United Nations in ensuring that there is peace in African continent, and global peace is main objectives. Objectives of the United Nations is not to make money; it is to ensure that there is global peace around the world, including African continent.
Yeah, I don't want us to stretch it further than this, but of course we've seen that from what you've also said, there's still a lot of grounds to be worked on. Because if you want to say, there's a saying in Yoruba that whoever wants to make a cloth for you, you have to first look at the price. That's why we have catalog, we have magazines. So if I go to a tailor, I say, so show me your social media account. Let me see what you've done. If I go to a restaurant, I say, okay, I need your menu. What are the meals that you can comfortably cook? What are the ones you've done before? So maybe if they say, bring out your scorecard for the Nigerian state, it might be that the northeast and the north, some part of the north would, be a militating problem, would militate against that particular facilitation of the permanent seat for the Nigerian state. But again, we move on from that. Now, federal government is saying something quite interesting. It says federal government is going after certificate forgers. So this sounds like a thing, but some would also argue that it's not just the people that are forging certificates. We've seen the case where they said the president of this very country was allegedly, falsifying some document, or he had falsified.
House of West, you have assembly. So many people.
So the question now is, how best can they tackle this, and who are they going to go after, or who should they, according to Lekon Shobowale, who should they go after?
Well, according to the information we got yesterday, the president himself, observed that there has been a lot of certificate forgery cases. You understand, in many ministries, parastatals, even in military, even in paramilitary. I think, the president, is worried about this development, and since coming on board of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has embarked on, some meaningful intervention in the education sector. And of course, one of the ways to also intervene, holistically, is by looking, into all these cases of certificates forgery. So he ordered that, there should be a holistic, review, holistic screening, of certificates of the personnel in this ministry, in this parastatals, military, paramilitary. I think which is good. Some of them will be lucky. Some of them, when you have an ND and you are claiming that you have HND or you have you don't forget that a few years ago, I think maybe towards the end of late President Muhammadu Buhari administration, or the early days of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, there was a time that the federal government came out and said all certificates gotten from Benin Republic, the university in Benin Republic or Port Novo,
some part
has been cancelled, and Nigeria will no longer. So, what you just realize now is that most Nigerians, they will just go to Port Novo, they go to Benin Republic, they will come back and tell us that they are now a PhD holder. So, it is good, some of these people that the corporates, they will have a chance of going back and do the right thing. And Nigeria will not just be a dumping ground, for forged certificates, and Nigeria will be able to, sometimes when you go to all these federal ministries and you see some of these personnel, you will be wondering that how can someone like this get?
How did you get here?
You understand? And the most important is that it is certificate that speaks. even when you don't even know what you are doing, and you are claiming that you have PhD in this, PhD in that, 3-4 masters in this, you understand? You know, they look at the certificate and they give you whatever you need to give. They give you in terms of employment and appointment. But at the end of the day, you just go out that this person is not measuring up to the papers, you know, that is carrying. You know, it is very easy to fabricate all these papers. You understand? You can how will you, you know, explain that someone within 6-9 months is having a degree certificate, you know, that is meant for, you know, to be acquired after like 4-5 years in the university. You know, all this, we have so many, they call it sandwich program, you know, they call it all forms of names. You understand? Within 6-7 months, 8 months, you are being, armed, you are being harmed with various forms of certificate. So it is very important for these steps that the federal government is, you know, I so much love it, and it will be a warning, you know, to prospective participants or someone that is planning to also go through that route. You understand that federal government is no longer keeping quiet on this. It's very good, you know, it enhances our productivity, and also, you know, for the people that really have the certificate, you understand, you know, you'll be able to, you know, to separate the genuine from the counterfeit.
Absolutely. And I think also, maybe to make a point on that, is to say that Lady Justicia should be really blindfolded. So regardless of who you are, your status of what you have become, even if you have become a professor over time, if you have been found wanting, then
even
you should,
permanent secretaries.
yes, they should call them to book as well. Now, moving on from that story very quickly, we'll just do a bit of solution journalism now. And because there's a story, flood destroys houses, farms in Kogi, disrupts activities in Lagos. That's the big story. This is, so a background into that is that the Nigerian Meteorological Agency already warned some weeks back to say, hey guys, there's flooding imminent in places. They gave the names of the places, but eventually the case is still abysmal. We still have these things happening, houses, people dying as well. I saw a video on social, I don't know if you've seen that, there was a lady there was a flood, and then there was a lady that was standing somewhere, and then in a bid to rescue her, she went with the water, and I was like, okay, so what's this? But you know, that's not the case. The case is now a solution. What do we do from here? What can governors, what can ministries, what can departments do to ensure that we curtail or we curb these incessant loss of life that is not really necessary?
Seriously, I don't know, but you know, you just mentioned solution journalism. That, yes, number one, our NIMET, you know, has been talking about this issue of flooding, you know, and one would have expected that people should also take caution, you know, in a time like this. And I think most of these things still boils down to our government. Let me give you an instance. I was coming from a part of Ogun State, specifically from Ijebu-Ode. You know, I was driving, and it was seriously raining, and I have, you know, a colleague of mine, you know, sitting beside me, and you know, from Ijebu-Ode, you know, from Ijebu-Ode, you know, Ijebu-Ode, from Ijebu-Ode down to Idianywe. That road was constructed by late stage Obafemi Awolowo in 1970s. You know, the road is very narrow, and you know, the time the road was constructed, that we don't really have people that pass through that route. But now we have millions of people that make use of that road. From Ijebu down to Idianywe, that road, as narrow as the road is, there is no single drainage on that road. So now that we are now in this rainy season, you know, when you know, there is no way the water can flow. You know, you now see the water is now gathered on the road. Understand? The road that is already narrow. You understand? You now be seeing, you know, trailer. You know, if you are not so vast and experienced in driving, you know, lives can be lost on that route. You understand? The solution to that is that there should be, the route can be expanded.
Drainage system.
Most of the roads that our government are constructing now, thank God for governors like Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, that when they construct roads, they also think of putting in a very good drainage system. So most of it is not per se the responsibility. Yeah, it is good when our people when they keep to the laws, to the routes, guiding all this law, that you don't just throw your dirt inside the gutter. You don't just, and when you are having rain, and it is so much, and you are living very, very close to the stream of water, it is better that you just excuse yourself. But government still have a lot of roles to play. They are trying, through this World Bank project and all those stuff, but there are still a lot of grants to be covered. In recent times, in the last 2-3 days, you see so many videos, going viral. 2 days ago, I saw one, a bike man, an Okada man. The man was trying to cross that flood-prone area. As he was just making efforts, he lost control, and the water just swept him away. So many of that. I saw one at Lekki yesterday. Saying so. I think the state government, maybe in collaboration with the federal government and local government, have a lot of things to do to ensure that, because you cannot stop the rain. It is just a natural thing. You understand? So it is for you to devise a means of safeguarding your residents, to safeguard your citizens, and also to appeal to our people that anytime there is rain, it's either you stay inside your house, and when you know that your house is not safe, you can just move out of the house. Pending the time that normalcy will be restored to that area. I think that's the choice.
I think it's a good place to really draw the conversation, draw the curtains on the conversation today, especially on this particular edition of newspaper headlines and analysis. But I remember one of the things my lecturer once said. He said there's no bad weather, that there's only bad dressing. So you have to prepare for the weather regardless of whatever you think is happening. Right? We're moving on to another edition of this particular broadcast. Thank you very much, Mr. Lekon Shubowale.
Thank you
for joining us on this very edition.
Thank you so much.
Yes, coming up next is a big story where we also discuss something quite pertinent. Of course, hospitality, can it be a driver of economic growth? We'll stay and get all of that in the course of this next edition. Stay with us, don't go nowhere.
Professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
From the heart of the action, welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at DominionCast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to another edition of The Big Story on Daybreak Live. Today we turn our attention to a sector that not only drives tourism, but also fuels employment, innovation, and community development, the hospitality industry. As the global economy evolves, hospitality continues to emerge as a powerhouse for growth, and in Nigeria, women are taking the lead in shaping its future. Samson Balumo is my name. Thank you for joining us. The hospitality industry is more than hotels, restaurants, and travel. It is a hub for creativity, resilience, and economic empowerment. In recent years, women have been at the heart of redefining service excellence, entrepreneurship, and the customer experience in this field, from managing world-class facilities to launching new ventures that support tourism. Nigerian women in hospitality are creating opportunities, breaking barriers, and inspiring the next generation. On today's Big Story, we'll be engaging with women in hospitality in Nigeria, ably represented by Oluwakemi Olushola. She is the regional director for WIN, Oyo State Chapter, an organization at the forefront of advocacy, capacity building, and the leadership development for women in industry. Also, Mrs. Molikat Adegoke-Agbola, the Director for Culture, for Tourism, joins us in this conversation. Together we'll explore how hospitality can serve as a driver for economic growth and how women are shaping not just its present, but its future. Thank you for joining us, Oluwakemi. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
All right, you too. The director is here, so we have a lot to uncover on this show this morning. It's going to be really, really smooth.
As a point of correction, I'm not Adegoke, I'm Adejoke.
Adejoke. Oh, thank you for joining us. Thank you. All right, let's start with WIN. For those who don't know, for those who are watching us for the first time, what is WIN and what motivated and necessitated the creation of that organization?
Okay, thank you very much for having us here.
You're welcome.
Okay, WIN is the acronym for Women in Hospitality Nigeria. It is a network to bring women together in the hospitality and tourism sector to support, to unify, to learn, and to grow. So, the second question you ask is
what necessitated and motivated the
because the industry, it's a male-dominated industry. So we need a voice for our women. We need a platform to bring them together to grow. And that's why we created WIN, and that's why we brought WIN down to Ibadan.
Okay, now, WIN is in Ibadan. How widespread is WIN in Nigeria? Do you have state chapters? Do you have regional headquarters? And how widespread is WIN?
Yes, we established WIN 7 years ago, and we are currently spreading our tentacles. Currently, we launched in Ibadan, the Oyo State sector, and also in Abuja. Yes, and we launched this platform to give our women, especially our Ibadan women, the opportunity to showcase their achievement, to grow their career, to access opportunities, and also to leverage on how do I call it? The possibilities and the good things in that industry.
Okay, very quickly, let me come to the Director for Tourism in Oyo State. Under the leadership of His Excellency, Governor Oluwaseyi Makinde, and most definitely, the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Honorable Wasiu Olatunbosun. Tourism has seen some sort of resurgence under this administration. What is this administration doing differently to say that tourism and even culture becomes something to talk about?
Well, thank you for having us. Like you said, the present administration under the able leadership of Engineer Oluwaseyi Makinde recognize tourism as a force for positive change. So it's recognized, and that is why in his 2.0 agenda, he planned to use tourism to boost the state economy for sustainability of the economy of your state. And what are they doing differently? They are using the approach of inclusive approach. Inclusive in the sense that we carry the stakeholders, all the players along. We regulate, then we give them the state government give them create an enabling environment in the area of infrastructure, the road network that leads to most of our tourism sites in the state. We have over 200 tourism sites and monuments in the state spread across the 33 local governments, and that is why the state government invested in rehabilitation and even construction of new roads that leads to these destinations, and also other infrastructure. Also, we have the transformation of let me say creation of parks, modern parks, and all other activities, all other amenities, and also he also invested in a lot in security. Without security, tourism cannot thrive, and that is why the present administration invested a lot in security, support the Nigerian arts, and also established the Amotekun, and in the whole of the southwest, the number of Amotekun Corps members has increased. That of Oyo State, it's quite
beyond other states.
And also, you recognize that we need this Amotekun inside the forest, where we have most of these natural tourism sites.
We'll come to that. Please hold your thoughts for a second. Let's go on a quick break. And when we return, the big story continues. And this is Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. We'll be back.
Sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB Van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television, and this is the big story. I've had with me in the studio this morning Mulikat Adejoke Agbola, who is the Director of Tourism in Oyo State, and of course Oluwakemi Olushola, the Regional Director, Women in Hospitality, Nigeria, Oyo State Chapter. With them, we have been having a decent conversation as regards tourism as a tool for economic growth in Nigeria. Now, let's turn to you. We've been talking about how WIN has been a major force so far in Nigeria, and who are those who can actually join WIN? What are the set of people who can join Women in Hospitality Nigeria?
Okay, thank you. Women in Hospitality, WIN is open to all women in the hospitality and tourism space, regardless of age. What matters most is your professionalism, your passion, and your willingness to make impact in the industry. However, we have two categories: the main category for the professionals and the associate category for the youth. We need to start grooming the next generation of leaders to ensure continuity in the industry.
Okay, now let me come to you, Director. What's the relationship between the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Tourism, and Women in Hospitality Nigeria?
Let me say the relationship is very, very cordial. And, you know, like she said, the association is new in the state. And as the ministry in charge of tourism, we, like I told you before, that the approach we're using is inclusive. That we partner with our stakeholders, we carry them along when we want to make policies, and then we also carry them along in the area of promotion, propagation, and development of tourism in general. So we recognize the force of the stakeholders, especially the association in tourism sector, and that is why WIN, as a new, we felt that as a new association, we have to support them. We have to support them to achieve their aim, because at the end of the day, the aim is to develop tourism in Oyo State.
All right, what inspired you to join Women in Hospitality Nigeria?
Oh, beautiful question. Thank you so much. Personally, I see a gap in the state where we are not well represented in Oyo State. Yes. So I see that there's a need for our women to have a voice in hospitality conversations, both nationally and globally. And that was why I joined WIN, to give me a platform to do that.
All right. Having joined WIN, what are the major goals WIN has for women in hospitality, especially those who are here to join? What are the plans you have for them? And then how do they get to join this association?
Okay, yes, like I mentioned the other time, that is open to everybody. We have a platform where we all gather together, and on this platform we educate, we plan trainings, we collaborate with stakeholders and people that would boost our visibility in the state, and also we have a mentorship program that we planned on the side to help our members grow.
You have something coming up, which is the 7 days online campaign. What is it about?
Okay, yes, the 7 days online campaign was created for this World Tourism Day.
Okay.
The countdown is to showcase the uniqueness of Oyo State. We have activities lined out for the next 7 days, which we've started for the past 4 days now. Okay. And part of the activity is why we are here, Dominion TV today. You are also part of our collaborators. Yes, we collaborated with the Oyo State government. Big thanks to them. They are making this a success. We're even seeing the success already. Without them, I don't think we would have been able to achieve whatever it is that we've achieved at this moment. So the countdown, like I said, is going from the 21st to the 27th. But the 21st to the 26th is an online campaign where we just showcase the uniqueness of the state and, you know, showcase the women making waves in the industry. And on the 27th, we have a physical event where we tour tourist attraction sites in Oyo State, Ibadan to be precise. You know, like I said, it's in collaboration with
where they're coming.
with the Oyo State government. So we moved together from the State Secretariat on Saturday. We move straight to the zoo. From the zoo, we go to Irefe Palace. From Irefe Palace, we go to Makpo Hall. From Makpo Hall, we stop at Bowers Tower. And then we finally stop at the National Museum of Unity, if I'm not wrong. Right. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. So there we are going to be having a panel session, you know, networking, and then merriment.
Okay, so from the ministry, well, you have played a significant role, just like she mentioned. And are you looking at making this a constant thing, a yearly thing?
No, we've been doing that before.
Okay.
Especially since the inception of this administration, there is a policy in place that we used to take the celebration of World Tourism Day. We used to take it around the state. At times we partner communities, we partner stakeholders. Last year we were at Shogidi Lake. Okay. That is where yes. But this year again, we come back to Ibadan, partnering with the WIN for the celebration. So we used to, like I said, we are using an inclusive approach. So we collaborate with stakeholders, be it association, communities, and even federal government. So.
Okay, let me ask you, Oluwakemi, collaboration with the Oyo State government, how important is this to women in hospitality in Nigeria? And of course, are you carrying every region along as regards to this particular one you are doing, or this basically for Oyo State chapter?
Thank you. I think, I don't think, globally,
You know so.
Yes, right? I know. Globally, World Tourism Day is celebrated globally.
Okay.
So, as we are celebrating in Oyo State, some other states are as well celebrating the World Tourism Day as well. But I would give kudos to Lagos State, because who happens to be our headquarters, for giving us the opportunity to run this solely on our own. So, like the question you asked me, collaboration, well, I say this all the time. Collaboration is how transformation happens. I'm really big on collaboration. Tourism is not something one person or just one group can do alone. It takes partnership. When we partner with the state government, you partner with creatives, you partner with the media, we reach a wider audience. And when we reach a wider audience, we get more visibility and credibility. And I think that is what we need to grow.
Okay, now, as a business person in Oyo State, as an investor in Oyo State, what are the challenges you currently face, and how have you been able to surmount some of them?
I get this question all the time, and I'm always happy to answer. Okay, as a business person, one of my major challenges is the cost of operation. Okay. The amount I spend on diesel every day, by the time you add up the money at the end of the month, is alarming. I don't even want to mention it. Not to talk of staffing before you get a well-trained, dedicated, and committed staff. At times, it even feels like it's impossible. Now, let's talk about multiple taxes from different government agencies. The government is not even encouraging business owners at all. But then, despite all those challenges, I believe there's so much Ibadan can offer. Yes, because so many at times have seen a group of people gather together from Lagos, experience the train down to Ibadan, just to come and patronize Akaramo, patronize the popular Amala in Ibadan, and then go back that same day. That speaks volume. It shows that Oyo State is not just a place where people live. It's not
the
a
economy
city.
is booming.
Yes, it is a destination. People will leave the comfort of their homes and come down to Oyo State, experience the greatness of the city, and then leave that same day. So I believe with creativity, with innovations, we can build a sustainable business in the state.
I'll come to what you expect the state government to, where you expect them to come in. But before I go to that, I want to ask the director for tourism in Oyo State, are you looking into championing a cause on behalf of your stakeholders, just like we mentioned earlier, just for the government to let them off the hook a little bit when it comes to taxation?
Globally, any government, depends on taxes. So government is doing a lot for the business. Like I mentioned, security is there, infrastructure, So all those things involves money. And where do we see the money? Through taxes and what we have government from the national, from the federal government. So paying taxes should be, the business owners should know that they have to pay taxes and they are expecting things from government. So if their expectation is they at least ask for
it's give and
more,
take.
And yes, then government will also look into giving them more. But to rule out not paying taxes, I don't think that one is
I'm not saying
possible.
they should not pay taxes.
Yes.
I'm saying they should.
So we do it in it's a one-stop shop now for taxes in Oyo State. We come under an umbrella being regulated by the BIR, Board of Internal Revenue. So you have just one tax.
So tax system in Oyo State has been harmonized.
Yes, we collect it. Yes, it's an harmonized tax in Oyo State. So we, like you ask for reduction, correct? So we look into that.
Okay, very quickly, let me ask you, aside from that, where are the areas you think the state government can actually encourage you as a business owner, as an investor, and also a stakeholder in the state?
Thank you very much. I was looking at Ms. Sabola's mouth while she was talking. And I like that. But to be honest with you, I mean, tax is one of the things, major issue that I have. Aside from the fact that the regular infrastructures, like the lights, things are not stable, which is a regular thing in the nation, you understand. But talking about the tax, this other day, there's this agency that walked in. I pay a lot. I own a hotel. It's called Harrington Inn Hotel. I have just 10 rooms. And I operate that hotel with the same facility a 40-room would use. And then this other day, this government agency came in and said he is from MSCN, music something, 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 I can't remember. And then they brought this bill of 400,000 because I play music, because my guest plays TV in their rooms. Who does that? He had a backing. They wrote back to me from their headquarters that they are ready to take me to court. Definitely, they have the government backing. Why would you do that? This is not encouraging. There are days I run on empty, and I can't switch off the generator because I don't want to appear like this place is a dead end. It's not encouraging. I'm not saying I don't want to pay tax. I pay my FIRS because I pay it because I make the money, and they're not going to overcharge me more than what I consume. But how do I even break even? There are days. Why would you charge me for listening to music in the TV, on the TV, in the room, in the guest room, and you're bringing a bill of 400,000? It's unfair. I had to chase them out, and I tore the letter into pieces. I shredded it into pieces.
I do hope the government listens to that and most definitely make a little bit of changes and let you off the hook a little bit. And the director is here. I know she's going to pass the message.
I want to respond to that of the taxes on music or something.
Yes.
Well, I'm not aware of that. Like I said, we have an harmonized
I know about that.
In the Oyo State. Maybe it's from federal government also. I don't know.
I don't know too, but I'm sure it's not from the
because
state.
I know that the environment people are supposed to be, even if there's anything on noise and this music,
yes, noise pollution or something,
from the environment.
Okay.
But the Ministry of Environment is under this harmonized.
Yes.
So I don't think they can come again to ask for another tax in the name of music, playing music or noise pollution.
I would appreciate if you can help us look into this, because it's not just only me.
We will.
Yes,
we
I
will.
would appreciate it.
Now, before we go very quickly, what are the key challenges WIN is working to address in the near future?
Okay. There's a stereotype in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
You know, like I said earlier, I said it's a male-dominated industry where they give the executive roles to the male, and they confine the women to supportive roles like housekeeping, waitresses, you know, front office. It's not like those roles are not important, but they are not strong enough to put you on a decision-making table. So we are working towards making sure that our voices are heard as women, and we are in decision-making table together, making that decision together.
Okay. Before I come to the director, what message about World Tourism message do you have for the general public?
Okay. My message is simple. Tourism is everybody's business. Whether you're a student, whether you're a business owner or a visitor, we all have a role to play in shaping how our city, Oyo State, and Nigeria as a whole is seen to the public. All right. How about you, ma'am?
Like to add to what she said, I will employ them to behave responsibly, because in this state we encourage responsible tourism. So, and I also encourage them to tap into the opportunities being offered by tourism.
All right, thank you for joining us on the show this morning. It has been a wonderful session. We would have loved to continue on this, but most definitely our time is fast spent and we simply have to go. Good to have you on the show. Mulikat Adegoke Abuola, the Director of Tourism, Adejoke Abuola, the Director of Tourism in Oyo State, and Oluwakemi Olushola, the Regional Director, Women in Hospitality, Nigeria, Oyo State Chapter. Thank you for joining us on the show.
It's a pleasure.
All right, and that's it on the big story today. We have seen how the hospitality industry, powered by innovation and anchored by the contributions of women, is unlocking economic potential across Nigeria and beyond. A big thank you to my guest this morning for coming in and, of course, sharing their insights and vision. Accompanied by regulars in the building, we have Jumoke, Caxton Martins, and most definitely Mulua Akewale. They are regulars, most definitely. Our fans do know them out there. I'm Samson Balogun, and stay with us on Daybreak Live as we continue to bring you conversations that matter right here on Dominion Television. Let's go on a short break. When we return, Trend Watch is next.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at DominionCast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak live on Dominion Television, your channel of choice, where inspiration meets entertainment. Now it's time for Trend Watch, and I still have with me in the studio this morning, Anuluakpo Idowu. Good to have you back.
Thanks for having me. I was going to say, that was an insightful conversation you guys had on hospitality.
Thank you. It was very insightful. And then, I mean, having the director of tourism on seats, also having major stakeholders, in the tourism sector,
who are in the
makes
thick
it,
of things.
who are in the thick of things. It makes it a lot more explicit when we talk about tourism in the state. And under this administration, we have seen a resurgence when it comes to tourism. A lot of tourist sites have been revamped.
Absolutely.
And, it's looking new. And we do hope that as the government spends money on these tourist sites, it brings money back to the coffers of the state.
That's the most important thing.
That's the most important thing. All right, away from that, let's take Trend Watch this morning. And the NDLEA have proposed a mandatory drug test for driver's license applicants.
The first thing that came to mind was I was saying that this is, it's at a point in time that this thing has become prominent. I mean, it's become an order of the day kind of thing. So you see an average youth is doing one thing or the other. We don't want to mention the names of those things, but you people know them. So no, just to put it that way. But again, I think there was also a time where a popular pastor came out to say that he's against a particular industry, a group, but I don't want to mention the name anyway. So he said it's against them because they don't train their, drivers. And he was saying that not just the training now. Some of their drivers, they take substances. And then sometimes they don't sleep. They now use the substance as a thing to help them stay alive while driving, which has caused in a lot of ways a lot of damage to the country. A lot of people have lost their lives because of the recklessness of drivers in the country, and I think this is coming at a very good time. But some would also argue that this is already long overdue. It's too late. These things should have been there. We should have all the structures in place. But it seems like it's never too late to do the right thing, especially if it's right. Yeah. So this is the NDLEA proposing mandatory drug test for driver's license applicants. I think it's a good one. But the way they want to take it is that, sometimes people are always scared, not because they'll be at the wrong side of things, not because they will flout the rules, but because of the extortion that might come from all of these officers as well. Because if we have, I think 2 ministries or 2 security agencies are coming together to do this, the NDLEA and then the Road Safety Commission. They are also joining hands to do this. So if road safety stops you, that's one. You think, okay, that's all I have for today. I've been stopped. I've given them everything they need to. NDLEA will come again, and then they'll stop you. So there's a bit of, and we've also seen cases. There might be a
little bit of bureaucracy attached to it.
Actually, and we've also seen the case where some will say they will rope you, They call. I don't want to mention that thing is inviting me to call the name, but I will not call the name because we are on there. But again, you've seen a lot of places where security agencies will be the one planting substances inside. All of these things might still happen again because now they know the sanction is high. The government is against it outrightly, and so it becomes a conversation. So if
it's now a business.
Yes, that's the right word I was looking for. So if it becomes a business for them, well, who checks those people? Who check people too? Maybe we should also put that on the front line of the conversation. Right. But again, it's a good development if you ask me.
Yes, absolutely. You are right. It's a good development. And if you look at what they said, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has proposed mandatory drug integrity tests for individuals applying for driver's licenses as part of efforts to reduce drug-related road accidents. I think this only applies when you are about to register for the license or maybe a renewal. But then my own concern is after you have gotten your driver's license, most of the times when you want to renew, you only go for capturing and then you get a new driver's license. It's not like you are going to do the registration all over again. So who are going to be in charge of these things? That is one. Two, just like you said, it should not be a business venture for paramilitary officials in those agencies, just like the NDLEA and most definitely the FRC. This should not be another source of income for them. I'm not saying they should not charge for this test, but I'm just saying they should not make the people, and then don't let them feel like, oh, they are now in our, of course, in our cage. So let's make it, as simple as possible. There should be little or no bureaucracy attached to it whatsoever. And then, there should be accessibility. And, sometimes you see people saying, oh, I applied for my driver's license. It's been over 3-4 months. They have not given me the plastic. They have only given me papers. And then when those papers expire, sometimes you don't get to renew the temporary papers given to you. And then someone stops you on the road and takes money from you just because you have been stopped and then you don't have a valid driver's license. So all these things should be, catered for in the new development. I mean, when we have great developments like this, it should come with innovations too, and then we should break it down. Don't make it too difficult for people, and then don't scare them away, because when it becomes too much of a problem, you see Nigerians, they don't really like trouble. They will prefer not to, go for these driver's licenses and then stay somewhere and then find a way, oh, is there road safety there? Then they begin to dodge you all over the place. So that's not really helping. Let's just break it down a little bit.
Yes, in addition to what you said, let's put a feather on the cap of the institutions coming up with this, but also with a caution, like you also mentioned. But again, how many truck drivers in Nigeria have licenses that are up to date? That's a conversation. But that's not where I'm going. I know of the United States, there's something called DUI. It's driving under influence. If you are caught 1 time, 2 times, then it becomes, they might revoke your license. 1, 2, you might not be able to drive in some places if you are a DUI person. So you see a lot of people say, I can't drive, but I'm on the DUI. So driving under influence, because they have been sanctioned once or twice or more. So once they have been sanctioned, they don't have license to drive.
They don't even try to risk it.
Exactly, but that goes beyond the point of obtaining the license. That goes to the point of checking again. So you have the license, yes, we acknowledge. But when you drive, can we also check you again on the road to say, okay, do we have those measures? That's another thing, though, because there are tests they can run on you.
We should encourage them to get DUI kits.
Absolutely,
drivers should be
on the runway everywhere,
on the major highways to see if they are fit to be on those roads. So that we will not continue to risk people's lives and, of course, their properties.
Absolutely.
This will be the convenient time to draw the curtains on today's edition of Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television. Thank you for being a part of the show so far, and of course keep it locked on this, that we have a lot to unpack for you on this dial today. Do well to link up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast. Watch us live on our YouTube channel, subscribe to that channel, and of course click on the notification button, and anytime we come online you definitely get to watch us live. Also link up with us on our website www.dominion.org.ng. As we go, let me tell you this very quickly, that it is never too late to achieve something new, and of course never too late to learn. Every time you learn, you are building a piece of yourself. Piece by piece, you get built. Samson Balogun is my name. Let's meet again tomorrow, same time, same station, same host. Bye for now.
And I say, don't abuse substance so that the Lord will not abuse you. Anyway, my name is Anulu Akpoilo. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned to Dominion Television. Bye for now.